All right, hey, hi guys, it's Eric with the New England Jeeper here again. Sorry it's been a little while since my last video, but I wanted to check in, and we're going to try and do a one-shot here, and I'm going to do a review of the Zone Off-Road's 4-inch lift for TJ. I'm also going to talk a little bit about what we've got going on as far as how the channel's coming and what's going on with me and stuff like that. I really appreciate everybody that subscribed. Feel free to like and subscribe. The more subscribers, the better. First and foremost, the reason why there's been a little blank between my last video is because I have a ton of video to edit and we decided to move. So we're going through the process of packing up the house and moving over. So hopefully very soon I'll be able to get all of the video that I have shot edited up for you. I have a trip to Roush Creek. You can do a little ride along out there. We have a trip out to Savoy, Mass, where I went with the Jeep Club, and we've got a little bit of footage for you for there too, so those will be two different videos. We've got a CB install video to do for you, and then we'll do some other reviews on some of the work that's been done on the Jeep. But as you can see behind me here, the Jeep is a little bit muddy, a little bit dirty, left it on there. Obviously we had the doors off because the door is still nice and clean. And then other summer projects are we're going to pull some of the little hinges and parts and pieces that have gotten rusty, and we're going to do a little restoration on that. And eventually we'll upgrade some other things here and there, and I'll share all that stuff with you, as well as all of the other off-roading trips we can go do during the New England summer. And it's just an absolutely beautiful day here. So let's get into the Zone Off-Road 4-inch suspension lift kit. It's a budget lift kit, and it was really what started the whole build and getting the Jeep ready to go off-road, which had been a lifelong dream. So the budget build kit comes with 4 shocks. It comes with lower control arms. It's a short arm extension as opposed to long arms. And then it comes with some other little brackets and stuff to get the angles correct and everything. It comes with 4 springs, and then it comes with a transfer case lowering kit to help keep your driveline angles correctly. Now, I think it's about $600 or so. It's probably one of the least expensive lift kits that you can get out there that's a full lift kit. In other words, you can bolt it onto your Jeep. It's pretty easy to do, and then you can drive away and enjoy your Jeep sitting up a whole lot higher. For my Jeep, when it was lifted, it was still on the stock suspension, so it was quite a difference. It was much bigger. It barely squeezed into the garage, but it gets in there, and it works great with 35-inch tires. I'm able to get a really great, good full flex without rubbing anywhere. I haven't had any rubbing issues as we've taken it out and abused it on some trails and had some fun with it. But overall, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, I'd probably put it right at a solid 3. I've been pleased with it driving around town in terms of the amount of money that I spent to get what I got. Was really hard to beat. As far as its off-road performance, I've been disappointed with it in terms of it's not that great. But I've been not disappointed like sad, or like I felt I didn't get my money's worth because I bought the budget build kit. And so a couple of the things that I encountered that were some problems with the lift kit were, one, installing it on an old rusty Jeep was kind of difficult, getting a bunch of the bolts done and stuff. A little PB blaster I'd recommend. Soak everything a week before you're going to do the install. Bring a buddy over, and then probably most everything will go pretty well except for the control arms. That one's kind of difficult. It comes with only lower control arms and not the upper control arms, so you'll have to do some drilling to get the geometry correct. I recommend doing a slip yoke eliminator kit, which we had done on this in order to dial in that back and front angles correctly. Also, I went ahead and I have upgraded the rear upper control arms to adjustable control arms because we really had to with putting in the Dana 44 swap and all the stuff that went on there in order to get the driveline angles correctly. But as far as the Zone off-road lift is gone, off-road, the first trail we broke on, but it was good. After that, it's been downhill. The shocks, They're nitrogen chocks, so I thought they'd be better than the hydrogen chocks. But they're noisy in terms of it sounds kind of like a failure. They really compress hard when I'm hitting the trails with that like kst, kst, kst sound every time that the shock is under full compression. So when I'm working the suspension a lot, it's not sounding nice and quiet and smooth. The suspension is very soft. They're non-adjustable shocks. Driving around town, especially with the hardtop on, the Jeep feels really loose, right? It feels really kind of like bouncy, and sort of like when you're driving, it feels not like you're going to roll over, but it has that feeling. And my wife and my daughter noticed it right away, because we've been driving in the Jeep on the stock suspension for years and years and years and loved it. And it definitely has a little bit more uncomfortable of a feel now, just from the suspension. So one of the upgrades we're going to do eventually is we're going to go with some better shocks, put the better shocks in, and hopefully something with either adjustable or just a firmer racing shock to really give me that feel that I want around town. Because I don't daily drive it, but we want to be able to take it off and drive down the highway and have a fun time with it. And the Jeep is doing really well in that regard. So the shocks, again, I give them a 3. They're kind of about what I would expect. Now the springs seem to be doing fine. Control arms are doing fine as well. Overall, been pretty pleased with everything that's been on there. So if you're looking for a budget lift, I would say go ahead and give this one a shot. You're really not going to be upset with it if you're just driving it around town. You want some height. You don't really want to spend all the money up front, because you can then add on and build things as you go. Also, having said that, if you're looking at the difference between this one and a better one, I would go with the better one and spend the money up front. And I would, in general, recommend that for most all things you can put on your Jeep, is go ahead and make that investment to start with, rather than trying to go the budget route and then having to upgrade. And again, this is if you're going to be taking it off-road. If I never took this off-road, it's probably just a perfectly fine lift kit. It's going to give me the look that I want. I really love the stance of the Jeep now, sitting up 4 inches higher than it was, probably 5 inches higher because the old system was so shot. I love the way that when it drives around town, I am the biggest Jeep. It's really, really rare to find something that's bigger than me, even big F-350s and stuff. I mean, you're sitting up there when you're in the Jeep. You're definitely a big Jeep with the 4-inch lift on it. Plus, remember, I have about a 2-inch body lift on top of it. So I have about 6 inches total lifted. Other things that I've done in addition to it is I added a belly up kit, because with the lift kit, shifting into second was always a difficulty, and so I've done a lot of work to change all those driveline angles and get everything fixed and dialed in correctly, and the Jeep drives wonderfully down the highway. It was a little difficult to shift into second after having put on the lift kit, but again, I have a body lift. If you don't have a body lift, the Zone Off-Road 4-inch lift kit has a transfer case lowering kit, so it's going to keep your drive lines correct so that you can drive around a little. You may have to do a small hack to the seat that fits the boot around your shifter, and that's if you're dealing with a stick. If you're dealing with an automatic, you're going to be just peachy, and you'll be really happy. So again, overall, a 3 out of 5 I think is pretty fair, but I want you to know what you're getting into when you purchase the Zone Off-Road 4-inch lift kit. You're getting into a budget lift, and you should expect a budget lift out of it. For being a budget lift, again, I'm really pleased with what it was. If I could go back, I would absolutely have bought a long arm kit or something that was more expensive to start with, but I didn't know any better. And part of the fun for me, and hopefully for you, is as we change out things, we'll document and we'll talk about all the different things that happen to the Jeep and how it drives. Not only how it drives around town, because we want to keep this daily driver friendly, but how it performs off-road. So I hope that was informative for you. I hope that you are as excited about the upcoming off-road videos and sharing that stuff as I am. Roush Creek was a blast. Being a new driver, I had to learn a lot about how to drive a stick off-road. And then the last trip that we just did up to Savoy, Mass, and doing Old Military Road was awesome. Had a blast. Let me tell you, 8 or 10 hours of wheeling out at Roush brings you up to speed really quick. It's a crash course in how to drive off-road, and when I went on the next trip I felt 100 times more confident in what the Jeep could do and how to drive it properly. So again, like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this video. Look forward to more stuff coming at you, and feel free to leave a comment in the section below.